crossing the beautiful Umpqua River here. Go out and spend some time doing a little bushcraft, looking around. Spring salmon are just finishing up their run. Water's falling off pretty quick now. Didn't get to do any spring salmon fishing this year, but I have caught spring salmon in this river. Beautiful river. Anyway, mosey along up the road here. This bridge I'm on right here actually washed out in the 60s. 50 feet off the river right now. A lot of flood water. Well, where I'm at today, I'm in the Coast Range here in Oregon, down on the Umpqua drainage, and I'm just up on a ridge here and thought I'd show this little water hole. There's several of them around. They modern day use is they use them a lot for a water source so they can fight forest fires and whatnot, but just a cool little spot. There's a few of them around. We've got some willows growing here and some cattails. And one thing I noticed is there's some little rough-skinned lizards. I think they're rough-skinned newts. There's one coming up to the surface right here. I don't know if you can see that. There's one coming up right there. I don't know if you can see him. Anyway, they're modern day uses pretty much for fighting fire, a water source. They're also known as a Pumpchance. Years and years ago, when the log trucks didn't have the modern brake technology, they had to carry water on their truck to help cool the brakes, and so places like this were usually right around the summit of a hill, and this is where they would replenish their water to keep their brakes cool as they were hauling logs. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you this little spot. We'll probably spend a few minutes here and then head on to the next one. Here's a good little willow patch. And cattails growing down in there. I'm sure the wildlife around here uses this. And our spring has come late this year. Heck, it was almost 90 degrees yesterday. It's jumping right into summer. And here's some cattails from last year. These things just explode when you get into them. Good little fire starter. You can char that too in a tin. Make some char fluff. Catches a spark real easy. Transfer fire with the whole cattail. Anyway, nice little spot. In here, just on the other side of the road, here's some Scotch broom. Wild rhododendron. The bees are just working it over like crazy. Some salal. Growing right out of an old growth stump. You could probably peel some fatwood out of that thing, no problem. That stump. Fir tree. It's Got old man's beard all over it. Very easy to start fire with. These lower branches are just bone dry. No trouble starting a little fire here today. Here's another stump here. Wouldn't take long to dig into this thing and find some fat wood. I'm sure there's some right here. Just a few feet off the road here where that little Pumpchance is. And just right there. This is manzanita here. And these little berries here will mature. And the local black bears just love these. They love the blackberries and love these manzanita berries a little later in the year. They're just loaded though. You find black bear scat a little later in the year and it's just clear full of these little berries. It's just red. It's about the color of the stalk right here of this tree. And some wild blackberries here, budding out. Bees are working them over. Blackberries all over the place here before long. Yeah, I'm just up the road here a few miles from where I was at that water hole. And this is a second growth forest in here. I was just looking these big old stumps over. This is a old growth fir tree that was probably logged at least 50 years ago. And this is a second growth forest that's been thinned out. This tree right here has about 5 tops in it. Grows about 10 feet off the ground, and then this must have been damaged when they thinned this patch out, but pretty crazy. Now let's walk up around. Here's an old skid road here. Lots of ferns and rhododendrons. These old stumps got little seed trees growing out of them. Look at how twisted up that old stump is. That'd make it a beautiful piece of wood. I just wanted to show you how easy it was to find black pitch where I live, or fatwood, I should say. This is an old stump that's rotted and it's got some solid stuff in it. There's a piece of fat wood right there. I can smell it already. And that's just a little tree growing out of there, but let me set the camera down a minute and I'll show you what I mean. Doesn't take long to find it around here. You can find it just about in any old growth stump or log. So I don't have to look far for fire starting stuff ever. Even in the dead of winter, this stuff just can be soaking wet, and then it'll take a flame. You can even fluff it up, make some Maya dust, shavings out of it. It'll catch a spark. Pretty amazing stuff. That's how easy it is to find this stuff around here. That stump, those stumps, this log, you can kick those limbs out of there and they're just full of resin. Doesn't take any time at all. Yeah, let's go find something else to do. I'm just on my way back to the pickup here and gonna move down the road a little bit. Just come across some old logging equipment. An old piece of cable. Find that stuff all over out in the woods. Piece of history. You know, I just walked down to the end of this old road and got some trees across it and came to the end of it. And just on my way back to the truck and see what's next. It's beautiful in here. Lots of wood, lots of resources if you need to. Like I said, all these stumps have fatwood in them for sure. Be willing to guess most every one of them. Lots of dry wood standing. Lots of dead wood. Lots of dry limbs. Didn't take any time at all. Get a fire going. Probably not going to mess with the fire today. It's going to be the upper 80s, almost 90 degrees today. And I don't think it would be a good idea. So, we'll just run around, see the country, see what we want to do next. Here's another Pumpchance. This is right alongside the road at a pretty steep grade. And it all makes sense, you know. These old truck drivers would fill their tanks up, so keep their brakes cool. And this one is just full of those rough skin newts, I think they're called. See if I can get a little closer. I don't know if you can see those, but there's probably 50 of them right here. Let me zoom in a little. Here they are. All those are those little rough skin water newts. And I believe they're poisonous, so you don't want to mess with them. Bad news. Cool.